Good evening. This is Duane Lowry for the DPP Grain Desk on Sunday, August 26th. It's currently 4:37 Sunday afternoon. Calls tonight are going to be a little bit better. I think the Pro Farmer Crop Tour final projection is going to be the driver for initial strength here tonight. Outside markets might be worth a little bit of support, but the main focus here I think is going to be the Pro Farmer Crop Tour projections. The question here is whether or not there's enough new energy in these Pro Farmer crop projection estimates to keep us sustained. I think it's enough to get us higher start. I don't know if it's enough to keep us sustained. And I think it's important that we look at this from the right perspective here. The market's had bullish USDA reports, bullish private crop estimates. It's had bullish spins on production estimates each and every day last week from the Pro Farmer Tour. Yet it's important to realize that December corn only gained 1.25 cents for the week last Friday versus the previous Friday. I think it's also interesting to point out that if you look at the last 4 Friday settlements in December corn, they've all been in a 2-cent trading range. And if you go back for the last 6 Friday settlements, 6 weeks worth of trade, we've had all prices in a 16-cent trading range. During those 6 weeks, we've had nothing but bullish sentiment, nothing but bullish ideas, nothing but bullish crop projections, lower that continue to decline on almost a daily, certainly a weekly basis. And we've got projections now that traders are extremely comfortable with 120 bushel yield. You got people talking about wanting to lower it even farther. And regardless of whether you believe it or you don't believe it, for the market to have the last 4 Friday settlements in a 2-cent trading range seems to me to be very strange, and seems to be to go against what has been the prevailing logic and rhetoric and expectation here for the last month. And I don't know how long the market can sit here and hover without experiencing some sort of challenge to all those recent buyers over the last 4 to 6 weeks. We got harvest here just ahead of us. Who knows what the final yield numbers are. We know we got a tremendous amount of demand rationing to do, but we also know that there are continued reports of different types of imports, of whether it's Canadian barley or whether it's Brazilian corn. We know we have exporters that are not looking to sell hardly any corn. Exports are going to be cut. We don't know what the future holds for the ethanol industry. But there has to be some reason and some implication to the fact that for the last month the corn market has stagnated, and for the last 6 weeks even you've got settlements in a very narrow trading range. And I don't think markets can sustain a near universal bullish sentiment towards any market and 6 weeks worth of price action that's stagnating without running the risk of some sort of a liquidation period. With harvest just ahead of us, I think that increases the chance of some sort of a liquidation break. So we're going to start higher this week. We're going to start higher on these Pro Farmer numbers. But the point here is, if we start higher and maybe even maintain strength tonight, tomorrow, I don't know. But if we begin to falter like we did last week from the week's highs and then faltered and sold off for no apparent reason, if that develops again after a higher initial reaction to Pro Farmer's numbers here tonight and tomorrow, one of these days you're going to get some liquidation selling, and I think it seems to me that these sell stops are continue to be ratcheted higher, and I don't think it's going to take much weakness for that to unfold. If you generate a liquidation break from this price area, you're talking about support in corn being at least 50 cents under where we're at now, and that if you were to break that type of level, you're talking about having the lowest prices you've had during any of this last 6 weeks period of time, and I think that's the downside risk. In the case of soybeans, Pro Farmer probably was a bigger surprise with the bean number being sub 35 on a national yield. That's going to start things higher here tonight. Technical conditions offer warnings that early week strength will lack sustainability. We'll see how that unfolds. There's not much new for news. Contrary to corn, which everybody seems to think is a very low production estimate outlook, I find a lot of people much more optimistic about their soybean yield potential. certainly more optimistic in relationship to beans than they are to corn. And I think it is possible that some of the early harvested results in beans could shift sentiment for national production ideas somewhat higher than what they have been and what is reflected in the Pro Farmer Tour. But it'll be a couple of weeks yet before we get a sense on that. But I am suspicious of that. Weather here has very little influence on price direction. It hasn't had for a couple of weeks on a day-to-day basis. We're going to get more moisture in the Midwest over the next couple of weeks, but impact on this year's production will be minimal, but it will, of course, help the soil moisture profile levels. So look for things to start higher tonight. Be very suspicious of early week strength. You're going to have selling from the technical crowd in corn up near or just above Friday's highs. Same is true in wheat. In the case of beans, I'm not sure if we're going to take out last week's highs here on a reaction to this Pro Farmer Tour or not. Certainly possible, but the technical conditions offer significant warning that these may not be the type of conditions that will sustain some early strength. So I'd be very leery of a pre-harvest liquidation break unfolding here at any time, and I think that if it does, that will be, after we experience that, then we'll be looking for the next buying opportunity. But right now, I think a guy's got to trade downside risk with respect and be very concerned that we're going to get a liquidation break. We've just been going stagnant for too long in corn, and we just got too many people bullish, and I think we're going to take a stab at trying to liquidate those current holders of long positions here before we get into harvest. Also on the DPP website, you'll see a survey. The question says, what are your plans for 2012 production that exceeds forward cash sales? What are you going to do with it? 1 is store, wait for higher prices. 2, sell it before harvest. 3, sell at harvest. Or 4, your production may already fall short of forward sales. If you get a chance, fill out that survey. It'll only take you a few seconds. It'll be interesting to see the results. For the DPP Grain Desk, this has been Duane Lowry. Thank you.